Please be seated. Mr. Ligon, Mr. Woodruff, Mrs. Reck, and Mrs. Carpenter, members of the faculty, parents, and students, welcome to the 2021 National Honor Society Induction Ceremony. We are gathered here to formally recognize those students who have been selected by the faculty of our school for successfully completing their candidacy and are being inducted as new members of our NHS chapter. For current members and those former members who may be among our guests, we hope this will serve to remind you of the standards of excellence you too are charged with maintaining as members of the nation's oldest, largest, and most prestigious student recognition program. Our chapter is proud to have been inducting new members since 2014, and with today's ceremony indicates the continuing emphasis on excellence that we represent for our school and community. Throughout the year, members of our chapter serve as role models for other students. In addition to the strong academic records which establish the eligibility for membership, our chapter members are leaders in many student organizations, and we serve our school and community through many activities, including National Honor Society and Student Council. We're proud of this record of accomplishments and welcome these new members who bring new energy in support of our continuing work as NHS members. It is at this time that we proclaim to all in attendance that membership in the Kyiv International Schools chapter of the National Honor Society has been earned by these candidates through the effective demonstration of the 4 qualities that serve as standards for the society. Members of the chapter will now review these qualities for the candidates. We begin with scholarship.
Scholarship denotes a commitment to learning. A student is willing to spend hours in reading and study, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. We should continue to learn even when formal education has ended, for human education ends only with the end of life. Knowledge is one great element in life, which leads to the highest success, and it can be acquired in only one way, through diligence and effort. Learning furnishes the lamp by which we read the past, the torch guiding us to understand the present, and the light that illuminates the future. Candidates have the charge to continually expand their world through the opportunities inherent in scholarship. Thank you.
Service.
My office is service. Service can be established in the routine of the day's work, where many opportunities arise to help others both at school and in the community. A willingness to work for the benefit of those in need, without monetary compensation or public recognition, is the quality we seek in our membership and promote for the entire student body. We are committed to volunteering our time and talents to the creation of a better tomorrow.
Leadership.
Leadership should exert a wholesome influence on the school. In taking initiative in the classroom and in school activities, the real leader strives to train and aid others to reach their common goals of success. The price of leadership is sacrifice, the willingness to yield one's personal interests for the interests of others. A leader has self-confidence that will go forward when others hesitate. No matter what power and resources may exist in a school, community, or nation, they are ineffectual without the guidance of a wise leader. Leadership is always needed. Thus, to lead is a meaningful and substantive charge to each of our members.
And character.
Character is the force within the individual that distinguishes each person from others. It creates for each of us our individuality, our goodness. It is that without which no one can respect oneself, nor hope to attain the respect of others. It is this force of character that guides one through life and, once developed, grows steadily within. Character is achieved and not received. It is the product of constant thought and action, the daily striving to make the right choice. The problem of character is the problem of self-control. We must be in reality what we wish to appear to others, to be rather than to seem, by demonstrating such qualities as respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, fairness, caring, and citizenship. We may hope to prove by example that we value character.
And now I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, Ms. Kim Black.
Greetings to students, staff, and parents of the KIS community. I am delighted to be able to share in this special event with you today, the National Honor Society induction ceremony, and I extend my congratulations to all the inductees. Kyiv International School holds a very special place in my heart. 10 years ago, it was where my husband and I began our international teaching experience. We remember KIS with wonderful memories of a kind, active, and accepting community, exceptionally rich in culture. It is an honor to be back, albeit virtually, to share some thoughts I have with each of you about the value of what you have accomplished and the path that is before you now. It is not easy to gain entrance into the National Honor Society. You must have exemplary grades, demonstrate leadership skills and strong character, and commit yourself to acts of service, placing others before yourself. It is not unusual for people to successfully have one or two of those qualities, but to be strong in all four pillars represents a dedication and commitment to self-challenge and perseverance. Each of you is to be commended. I want to briefly discuss each of the four pillars of NHS, but I am not going to do so in an equal fashion or in the order they are presented in the ceremony, because I want to spend more time on one of the pillars specifically. But before I speak about that, I will touch on the other three. You will soon figure out my focus. NHS and QSI share the common belief in the value of character. QSI calls these success orientations, a term familiar to us all. I heard several shared terms between NHS and QSI: trustworthiness, responsibility, caring. But most important is the recognition that these traits, which must be given attention and practiced, are the foundation on which our human achievement is built. Without practicing concern for others, responsibility, trustworthiness, kindness, and politeness, one cannot be an effective leader or be of service to others. In fact, if one truly wants to have an impact on the world, but is unable to work with others or unable to recognize the beauty in others and this world, even when it is not so apparent to others, success will be hard to come by. Character matters. Just like character, leadership is something that can be believed to be naturally endowed, yet in reality, it too must also be nurtured and practiced. The best leaders are on a continual path of self-improvement. One does not say, "I am now a leader," and leave it at that. Leadership and the skills that make leaders exceptional reflect each unique situation. Great leaders know when to stand center and be in charge, and when to stand among the crowd and let others be in charge. If I can leave you with just one important point about leadership, is that it should always be done with your heart and others' hearts in mind. Meaning, the relationships that you have with others in your role as a leader should be at the top of your priority list for being taken care of and nurtured. It is obvious that you have worked hard academically, or else you would not have been accepted into NHS. You likely have established solid habits of learning that will serve you well in the future in educational opportunities, career paths you choose, as well as your role in our global community. It is in this realm, the global community, that I wish to speak about the fourth pillar: service. Service is the action piece, the one where you get to take your ability to learn, your desire to lead, and the foundation of a strong character to make a difference in your future. Note, I did not say someone else's future. I said your future, and how this is specifically related to service, learning, and subsequent creativity. Two areas I put before you as opportunities, perhaps even as a challenge. Often when people think of service, they think of the activities of community service that are created to help others in need. Food and clothing drives, or raising money for a specific need come to mind as examples of community service. These are important functions in a society where people who have are helping others who do not have. Community service is needed and valuable. Service to others, as highlighted in NHS, is clearly found in community service. Organizing a toy drive for needy children or raising funds for a new animal shelter require organization, leadership, and the desire to serve. Service learning is an extension of community service, and it may be something you already engage in. It involves asking the question, why? It engages your scholarly minds to search for and learn about the history behind a problem: homelessness, poverty, animal neglect, orphans, human trafficking. Why? Why has this happened? Why does this exist? Learning about a problem is not the last step in serving others. It is the first step. We cannot begin to help others unless we help ourselves to understand their circumstances. I had a profound moment of understanding when I was a graduate student in a social justice class, and I'm a bit ashamed to admit that it took me so long to realize that I had no control over the circumstances of my birth, where or to whom I was born. As I was born in the United States to a middle-class, white, college-educated couple, I could just as easily have been born to an impoverished family with 8 children living in the backwoods of the Appalachian Mountains. My start in life afforded me privileges that I have taken advantage of, but it certainly does not make me any more deserving of those privileges than the poorest farmer in Africa or the homeless woman on the streets of San Francisco. Service is about first recognizing this, recognizing that serving others acknowledges our humanness, our sameness. Approaching situations with this humility allows us to place ourselves on equal footing with our global neighbors and leads to the desire to discover the reasons behind the inequalities and problems that face our world. It is at that point, when understanding has been developed, that service to others focuses in on the solutions to the problems, utilizing the tools available to us and perhaps new tools yet to be developed. And this is where creativity comes into play. According to a researcher by the name of Dr. Kim at Williams and Mary College in the United States, creativity has been on the decline in the US since the 1990s, and this is also reflected in other places in the world as well. The causes for this are widespread, but the repercussions are significant. A lack of creativity means a lack of new innovations and ways of solving problems. People are not willing to take risks on new ideas or to think outside of the box. Interestingly, the pandemic, which has certainly impacted each and every one of us, has brought about a flourishing of creativity. It appears that a crisis can bring about grit, perseverance, and the creativity needed to survive, whether it is in business or personal well-being. Perhaps you have even seen that in yourself or in those around you. Bringing the topic back to service and your future work in this, the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, a global research and policy agency, has noted that while creativity and innovation regarding the pandemic has occurred at significant speed, this has occurred mostly in wealthier nations. And there is a significant need in mid and lower income countries to reap the benefit of those innovations, and not only for the pandemic. The OECD is challenging innovators globally to work to address the needs in our world by moving away from how we have tried to solve problems in the past and look at new ways. So I ask you, where can your creativity flourish? Where can you apply your knowledge and leadership skills in innovative ways? The time begins now as you are inducted into an organization that challenges you to serve others. Who benefits from service to others? Everyone does. We all have tomorrow in front of us, and with that comes opportunity and adventure. Congratulations on being inducted into the National Honor Society. I can only begin to imagine the amazing ideas you will bring to this world, and for that, I thank you.
And now I would like to introduce our director, Mr. Ligon, to share a few remarks of congratulatory remarks.
Okay, so I'll be brief here. I just want to welcome everybody who might be viewing remotely, and welcome everybody here who could be present for this ceremony. Just a real quick message to our students being installed today. I think it's very important that we pause to acknowledge your accomplishments to this point. You know, you got into this organization. We're about to install you, and I'm so proud of you and your achievements. But as Ms. Black mentioned, don't rest here. Let's make sure that we bring that idea of service leadership to KIS and commit yourselves to making this a wonderful place to be, both here on campus and in surrounding communities. So, thank you so much, and I am going to read the names now, right? I'll read all the names. Some people can't be with us, but I'll read their names anyway because they may be watching, and they need to be properly recognized. When you hear your name, please come up. Alan Bean. Nicholas Tsiganik. Veronica Yagnuk. Alia Katinova. Omkar Nayak. Lisa Petrina. Nikita Scheffner. Janaise Truffaut. Klara Ziolkowska. Once again, thank you, and congratulations, all of you new inductees.
At this time, will the new inductees please rise? Raise your right hand and repeat the pledge. The audience can follow the text on the slide. Please join me in reciting the pledge. I pledge to uphold the high purposes of the National Honor Society, to which I have been selected. I will be true to the principles for which it stands, and will maintain and encourage the high standards of scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Thank you. Now I'd like to move on to the second part, the installment of the new officers. The installation of any group of officers is an important and serious occasion. You have indicated your faith and trust in these, your elected officers, to serve for the coming year. Their service and accomplishments depend largely on your cooperation. Following is as important as leading. In any organization, there comes a time when some must lead for a while and others must follow. The National Honor Society is founded upon the principles of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. In all your undertakings, may you always keep in mind these guiding principles. A candle's but a simple thing. It starts with just a bit of string, yet dipped and dipped with patient hand, it gathers wax upon the strand, until, complete and snowy white, it gives at last a lovely light. Life seems so like that bit of string. Each deed we do a simple thing, yet day by day, if on life's strand we work with patient heart and hand, it gathers joy, makes dark days bright, and gives at last a lovely light. Will each retiring officer please stand up and, yes, please. And each lighted candle is a symbol of the torch of knowledge and a reminder for us to bear forward the search of light, of truth, and to lead others to follow the light. Outgoing officers, you have made the candles which you will now pass on to your successors. You have worked with patient care, made dark ways bright. We thank you for all your efforts you have added to the history of this chapter. We now ask you to sit down. Thank you. We welcome the new officers of our chapter, which today are, just a reminder, we have cohorts. So today, Blake Carpenter and Svat Shevchenko. New officers, in accepting these offices, you have indicated your willingness to give your best effort to carry out the principles of the National Honor Society. Yours is a significant responsibility as well as a privilege. The world today, as never before, needs faithful and efficient leaders, and your chapter is looking to you to lead its members. To the chapter members, we ask you for the support of these leaders of the chapter. Will you support these new officers with your heads, hearts, and hands, and work with them for the betterment of our chapter and our school? If so, please respond, we will. Very enthusiastic. Now, with the support of your peers, your families, and the school staff and administration, do you pledge your leadership to these offices to which you have been selected? If so, new officers, please respond, we do. Thank you. I would like to invite Ms. Carpenter to read the last reading.
Hold high the torch, you did not light its glow. 'Twas given you from other hands you know. 'Tis only yours to keep it burning bright, yours to pass on when you no more need light. For there are other feet we must guide, and other forms go marching by our side. Their eyes are watching every smile and tear, and efforts which we think are not worthwhile are sometimes just the very help they need, actions to which they would give most heed, so that in turn they'll hold it high and say, I watched someone else carry it this way.
May your light blaze forth for a successful year, and at the expiration of your term of office, may it be passed on with satisfaction from the knowledge that much was accomplished for the good of our chapter, our school, and our community. Congratulations. I'd like to thank our advisors, Mrs. Reck and Mrs. Carpenter, and the members of the Induction Ceremony Committee for their hard work in organizing this year's induction ceremony. Please join me in thanking them with a round of applause.
All right, thank you so much for everyone that came today. Thank you, parents, for joining us if you joined us live stream. We do have cupcakes for all the people that were inducted today, so you need to make sure that you come by and get your cupcake, chocolate or vanilla. You have your choice. And also, I need to take a picture, so please don't leave without a picture. And thank you very, very much for coming today.